The next speaker, the next panelist is my good friend, my sister, Dr. Stella Agyenim Boateng. He's a highly qualified human resource management executive with over 31 years of working experience. Her professional experience spans across educational, telecommunication, and insurance industries with skills in organizational leadership and development, strategic management, business transformation, cost leadership, and people management in local, multinational, as well as multicultural environments. As an HR architect, Stella has also hands-on experience in strategy formulation and execution, resourcing and talent management, labor laws, employee relations, internal communications, and reward and recognition, among others. Ladies and gentlemen, the pleasure is mine to introduce to you Dr. Stella Agyenim Boateng, who is going to speak to us on role of soft skills in career development and progression in the new normal. Dr. Stella Agyenim Boateng, welcome. I know you have a busy day, but I'm glad that you finally were able to make it. The floor is yours. Please take over.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel, my good friend, my brother. And thank you, earlier speakers, for setting the tone and the pace. And I also want to say thank you to the audience, our participants, for, I believe, waiting for so long for me. I was just trying to juggle a couple of things. So as has been said, I am supposed to speak on the role of soft skills in career development and progression in the new normal. I mean, this new normal has become like, I don't know, a monster that we are all kind of worried about, you know. But I think the last speaker, James, you know, made a point. That who knows, I mean, now it is a level playing ground, and it's the time for each and every one of us to pick up our arsenals and then try to run with it. Because when we have that positive mindset, when we have reoriented our mindset, the new normal will become an advantage for us. And so we should not rather spend time worrying about the new normal, but asking ourselves, what kind of advantage can we take, you know, about, of the new normal? So I'll try and share some slides here, and then we can get going. Okay. So, like I said, it is time for us to reorient, you know, orientate our mindset, the entire human capital. And so the soft skills, we've talked about all the big things, all the knowledge, all the hardcore stuff, you know, the technical stuff that we need to have, definitely, yes. But one thing I keep saying is that it is much easier getting yourself the hardcore stuff, getting yourself the technical stuff, getting into the class or wherever and learning the technical things. But it is a lot more difficult when people have to reinvent the wheel, especially around their soft skills, because most people have been set in their ways. But remember that the new normal is not giving anybody that opportunity to live a life that you would want to. And so if we want to develop our careers and we want to progress, then it is time for us to have a few thoughts around how we survive in this new normal. And so, I mean, I keep saying, because anytime I have to talk about this new normal, anything, you know, I try to precede it with the fact that, I mean, if there's a new normal, yes, what are the kind of things that we should know? What it means is that if there's a new normal, then obviously there was an old one. And we are also not sure how long, you know, this is going to be. We can imagine that it's going to persist maybe for so long. But it is not all doom and gloom, as I've said, you know, because the new normal confirms that job for life, honestly, is a mirage. However, if we reposition our mindset to stay relevant, then our survival instincts will be, you know, rekindled. And that is what is going to position us to develop our careers. And, you know, the survival instinct that I talked about, it says that, you know, this actually fits into what Charles Darwin has said. Charles Darwin is a naturalist, and he's ever made a statement that I really, you know, like. And he says that it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but rather the most adaptable to change. So you could be the best, you know, with whether it's physical strength, intellect, etc. But if you are not adaptable to change, or you have not set your mind to accept the new normal and change, your survival will be a challenge. And so businesses today are looking for people who can help the businesses to survive as well. Because without people who can bring the businesses up, they cannot survive. And so let's listen to what Henry Ford also said, that you can take my factories, you can burn up my buildings, but give me my people, and I'll bring my business right back. A lot of businesses have collapsed or are collapsing because of COVID-19. People are running around, people are changing their strategies. Businesses are changing, they are fishing what they had been looking out for. But the point is that in spite of all that, if they don't have their people, and obviously the people with the right mindset, then they cannot bring their businesses back. But if you agree with Henry Ford, then it means that if we as a people, we change our mindset, then businesses will be able to come back. And that is when you and I can build our careers and survive. So what kind of people will businesses require to rebuild this, their businesses in this new normal? Obviously, it's people who have a new paradigm shift, people who have the readiness to be part of the new dispensation, and people with a new outlook to life. If you want to survive, then you must have the survival attitude. So without these key points of having a survival attitude, of having a new paradigm shift, or the readiness to belong and to be part of this new dispensation, then it will be a difficult point. But the question that everybody will ask is, so what are these survival, attitude? What are the survival tips? And that is what I want us to quickly, run through so that we will build our soft skills in this new dispensation, and we will be the people, the talents that businesses will be seeking after. So these are the survival tips, as I put them. So first of all, let us understand that change is constant. Change is constant and learning is ongoing. There will always be change, with or without COVID. Change will still happen. And while the change happens, because that is constant, the only thing that keeps going whilst change is happening is learning, because every change situation should give us the opportunity to learn new things. And so we don't have to resist change. None of us sitting here can resist the new normal, can resist COVID-19. We can prevent it, but it's here with us. And a lot of things have changed, protocols here and there. And so it is important for us to have a mindset and a skill that accepts change instead of resisting it. Let this new normal rather add to our experiences. That one day we can say that in the midst of COVID, because we did XYZ, because we had a new paradigm shift, we have been able, to survive it. And so it is time for us to seek knowledge so that we can understand the present. Don't let us just throw our hands in despair, because COVID is here. With the right knowledge, with the right kind of attitude, understanding that we must continue to learn, we'll be able to survive. So the market dynamics are different. They are changing. Now we are talking about remote working, we are talking about contract work, we are talking about outsourcing, we are talking about flexi working, we are talking about all manner of alternative working. Let us accept that that is the new market. And therefore, when we build our soft skill to accept this change, we will be able to take advantage of whatever kind of alternative work arrangement is made so that our careers we can still build. Don't expect yesterday to fit well into today. Yesterday was the old normal. Yesterday was without COVID. Why would we expect that the old normal should fit into today, which is a new normal? So let us understand that yesterday cannot fit into today. And therefore, what kind of soft skills do I need today to be able to fit into today? So that when tomorrow comes, what kind of soft skills will I need to, build on to be able to fit into tomorrow as well? Instead of living in yesterday and expecting today to live in yesterday as well. When we continue to live on our past glories, it will hinder our forward march, because learning is a mission. It's not just a one-off event. And so in this new normal, as James said previously, that it is a level playing ground, yes, but this is the time when competition is also keenest. Everybody is competing for the few slots that are available. And so we need to be subject matter, as we know our subject matter, and enroll to train ourselves so that history will guide us and not take over our future. History must guide us. History cannot take over our future. And that is the first survival point. Number 2 is to act with speed without compromising on quality. In this new normal, time is of essence in taking decisions. If you want to continue to analyze and analyze, you are going to be caught up in the analysis paralysis syndrome, where by the time you finish with all analysis and analysis because you want to get a perfect situation, somebody would have taken over already with just about 70 to 80% readiness. And then by the time you are done with your 100%, that is if you can even ever achieve it, the person is already gone in that career. And so you need to take calculated risk, weigh the pros and cons of everything, and allow flexibility to, to meddle with your rigidity. Don't always be so rigid that you cannot be flexible. This is something we need to learn, because rigidity will just keep you in boundaries that are so tight, and those boundaries can suffocate your progress and innovation. But when you allow flexibility, it allows you a considerable, relevant external factors, and you're able to think outside the box. This is a skill that we need to have. Number 3 is that we should understand the cash versus career mentality. In the new normal, we are looking to hold on to our careers and progress and develop our careers. Don't let us run after money, but let us see how we can solidly hold our careers and then move it. Because as we said, when we have the sense of loyalty and commitment, then we'll be able to get that cash that will come, because cash at this point will be more of a short-term satisfaction, but career will give us a long-term fulfillment, and that will include the cash that we may run after. And then when we embed our career culture, then we'll be able to get our building blocks also right. And so the third survival point is that remember the cash versus career mentality and deal with that. Number 4 survival point is be self-disciplined. The next skill you need is self-discipline, and that will drive away self-distraction. What it means is that if you're not self-disciplined, you are going to destroy yourself, because even when you have the job with you, your attitude, your lack of self-discipline is going to get you to lose that job. And so if you don't want to be destroyed, if you don't want self-distraction, then you need to generate internal sources of a sense of responsibility. Remember that your relevance, it's your own responsibility. Nobody can create it for you, and nobody can sustain it for you. And the way to create that relevance is to ensure that you have a sense of responsibility, and you are keeping your values so high, your principles of self-esteem. When you avoid reckless, lazy, and irresponsible lifestyle, these are all skills that, we must learn. Let's be time conscious and sacrifice to be able to attain our goals. This is a skill, self-discipline, so that we can, run away or drive away what we call self-distraction. Number 5 is that you need to be resilient and versatile. You see, we have so many battles that we fight, so many battles in the career world. But it's important that we have to be strong, we have to be resilient, we have to be versatile, but it is important also to choose your battles. You cannot fight every battle. In any case, you cannot also even win even the battles that you fight. But for as long as you are strong, you are versatile, you are resilient, you are able to choose the right battles, fight those battles, focus on winning the ultimate war. And therefore, as you move on, look at the war as your vision. Look at the battles as the steps and that you have to, maneuver around to be able to get to your vision. It is only resilience and versatility that can get you there. Because, failure, once in a while you may fail. Accept that fact that failure is transient, just as victory is. So if you fail today and somebody won today, it does not mean that you are going to be forever a failure, unless you tell yourself that you don't build that soft skill of resilience that gets you to understand that failure is transient, it is temporary, just as victory is. Somebody who has victory today, if the person doesn't, hold that victory well and is not resilient and strong enough to move with that victory from one to the other, that person cannot also hold the victory for as long as. And therefore, instead of us recoiling when we fail or we lose one battle, let us remember to rather take on the understanding that failure is as transient as victory is. And so don't be parochial in your thinking, be broad-minded. If I failed in this angle, What can I do in the other angle? What else is available for me? And that is the strong character that we need to build. And so we need to be fit for purpose. We need to multi-skill, we need to multitask. Let us be optimistic and not pessimistic, because being self-pity is pointless. Some people in this new normal, instead of understanding that I need to be strong and I need to see where the opportunities are, they rather will go into the dungeon of self-pity. And what will that do for you? You'll just be swallowed up. Don't throw your hands in despair. Just dare to be different, because failure is as transient as victory is. The sixth survival tip is that savings culture is important. I mean, many people have gone into situations with this new normal where they couldn't think of where the next meal was going to come from. Yes, of course, we all didn't project it, we all didn't plan it. But it is important to build that skill of savings, a saving culture, because life is unpredictable. So save towards a rainy day when you cannot go out. And don't save what is left after spending, but rather save before you spend. Because today, the new normal has taught us that life is unpredictable. We don't know what is ahead of us tomorrow. We don't know how people have lost their careers. People have lost their jobs. If there was no buffer, how are you going to survive? But when you have this culture, it gives you even the bargaining chip and the bargaining power, that even if you lost this one and you have to go into a new one, you know that there is something that you are falling on in the meantime. Don't let your taste run ahead of your income, as I say, because certain things are needed, but others are just wants. Why would you choose your wants over your need so that you cannot save towards a rainy day? It is important that we understand that. Again, let us have the right mix of aptitude and attitude. Don't tilt wrongly. Some of us are so intelligent. I can imagine all the intelligent people here. But if with your intelligence, if you do not have the right attitude, that aptitude or that intelligence can only get you into the job. But I can assure you that your character, your behavior, the soft skills that you do not have, because of that, you cannot go far. And if you're not lucky, you might even lose the job again. And therefore, have a very good determination between your attitude and your altitude, because that is where success will come from. And that is why you need to have an attitude of integrity, of respect, of honesty, and then be ready to stick to the right things. Because when you have poor attitude, you actually drive away even the opportunities that may be available for you. Number 8 is that build effective business communication. Let your conversations be purposeful with an objective. That is a skill we all need to develop. You can spend all your time talking, chatting, conversing, but there is nothing, there's no outcome. We are thinking about how to build our careers, but if you spend all your conversation on non-important things, on things that are not purposeful or without any objective, you will still be at the basic as when others are rising very fast. So communicate also with confidence. Your communication will determine what can be available for you, my dear. And the audience that you have, you must delight them, because a lot of our efforts can be whittled away just by careless words, in an unguarded moment. You are building your career, but you don't know how to communicate with a business language. Just that unguarded moment, that little careless word will then just get you off the stage for anybody to notice you. Because when you communicate, you are communicating to convince and not to confuse. The ninth survival tip, is to look for opportunities, but don't be opportunistic. Whenever, this seems a bit like a paradox, but really what he's saying is that just look at the advantages that you can, take control of, but don't be stepping wrongly, don't do wrong things just to get what you want. Because if you are smart enough, you'll be able to sight opportunities, and the opportunity will just be like a ball that has been thrown at your direction. You have only a split second to catch it, because if you do not catch it, it will go the wrong way. And so take advantage of your opportunities, but be careful not to step on toes wrongly. Remember, you want the skill that will help you build your career. Don't be a fair weather friend. Don't just let opportunism just get, smoke you out, because eventually people who just get to where they have gotten to through opportunistic behaviors, unfavorable, wrong things, they are always smoked out. So you prepare in anticipation for opportunities. And then when you have prepared, success will always meet you. Because when success comes in, you would have prepared and you take, when the opportunity comes in, you would have been prepared. So you take advantage and success will be yours. Build a positive reputation. That is another skill you need. You need to be trustworthy. You need to have a personal brand. Look sharp and not scruffy. Let people know that you have a certain gravitas, a very high professional standard. Because, hypocrites cannot hide for long. So build a set that becomes part of you. Be authentic, be genuine, and be sincere. Because when you are selfless, you rock away selfishness. And because selfish people, they don't get anything back. And so be very committed and stand for the truth. That should be your reputation. Work smart, not just hard. When you have to use technology, do it. Make sure that you cut on waste and bureaucracy that you need to, do away with. Re-engineer your business, models so that you can have more efficiencies. And always seek for feedback. Question the status quo, have an opinion. Build that skill of having an opinion. Ask questions. Question the status quo so that you can be innovative. You can think of new ways of doing it so that efficiencies, you can draw more efficiencies, because that is what businesses are looking for now. Businesses are looking for people who can build those kind of efficiencies. Invest in your network. There are people who are professionals, but honestly, they have no network at all. Whether it's a professional network or, a social network, that is still geared towards building and helping them develop their careers. Because your contacts are what will promote you in your business. So join your professional associations and learn to gain exposure. Be very strategic and positively visible among your network. Don't just be counted amongst the numbers, but actually be part of the active participants in your network, so that when somebody is being looked for a career, there's a career opportunity, your name will just come, it will pop up top for everybody to think about. And so for that reason, you need to look for mentors. And mentorship in itself is one opportunity that can help you to build your career. Know your stakeholders and map out the interest power grid for them so that you can always influence them, and that can help you with your career. Your SWOT. What are the strengths you bring on board? What weaknesses do you have that you need to overcome that the mentor or other situations can help you? What opportunities are available for you to take? And what are the threats that you need to avoid or be mindful of? When you're able to assess this, then you know indeed your net worth. How much you are worth is the network that you have and the SWOT that you build for yourself. At the end of it all, I'll say that, for those who believe as I do in the God factor, or whatever you believe in, remember that that is also something you need to keep alive, because you need that strength to be able to build on this key factor. So as it said, when you ask, you shall be given. When you seek, you shall find. And when you knock, it shall be opened unto you. Because in the career world, in the corporate world, when you don't ask questions, you don't get what you want. When you don't try to seek, you will never find that the opportunities abound. And when you see the opportunity, knock at the door of opportunity, and that door will be open for you. That is a way of building your career. And so in conclusion, I want to say that if you want to make a choice in this new normal, then it is a choice to either swim, to surf, or to sink. And so if you want to sink or to drown, then you just have to stick to the old ways of doing things. You will not build your career in this situation that we find ourselves now. You cannot develop your career. If you decide to surf also, then it's that same like a Desica superficial attitude, just having the fun all around, but not really sticking to what will help you develop your career. But I would recommend that you decide to swim. And that is when you are determined to be successful. So you go through all the sacrifices and take advantage of learning opportunities as you are doing now. And the golden doors will just then be open for you. These are some of the soft skills that you need to build to be able to take advantage of what is out there in the career world today in this new normal. Thank you very much.